If you're listening to me from Seattle, you should be concerned that your smoke screen is about to go up in smoke. This talk is an impromptu addressing Sab's claim that the flotilla deserves the status of a Black Panther lunch program or vice versa. Of course, we have Nelson Mandela's grandson on the flotilla now to establish the symbolic hierarchy for the icons of genocide. We're dealing with a situation in Seattle where icons of solidarity have been produced since the 60s through media. You have particularly aggressive strategists behind the genocide, like Yoko Ono and Angela Davis, pulling in behind Jill Stein of the Green Party and playing warlord games from various sides of the racial considerations in human population. Now, I have had to endure MAGA bots and cronies of Bush at Carnegie Mellon University and the Tony Blair apparatus for a very long time. So I know that one of the craven things they guttural is that we have to stop Asians and Africans from breeding like jackrabbits. I've done some reading into that, understanding poverty. And of course, the way to do that humanely is to bring about alleviation of infant mortality. Because if children lived to be 100, it wouldn't be necessary to have so many of them to assure that you had a safety net within the family. So the icons of solidarity have disproved their involvement in pornographic genocides by selling their pornography of genocide on the black markets. TikTok war is not the first peep show into genocide. There was a peep show set up on Mount Desert Island where I was surrounded as a treasured starlet of pornographic genocide. I was the ick icon, to put it in Gail Burston's language. She made a big song and dance, a crowing, about me being a status symbol because my father was a decorated naval veteran. What better way for Pittsburgh to go into piracy than to pornographically exterminate a symbol of American liberalism? And the script was written by the Japanese with the help of Ronald Reagan, who used JFK as an object lesson for John Lennon's crowd. The White Album came out November 22nd, 1968. Supposedly, white was a symbol of mourning, but they don't mourn. They celebrate when he is zapped right between the eyes. John Lennon was in on it and pulled a Houdini. And that accounts for the wailing and crying of their own victims in love slavery for their exterminators. It's a very simple gunboat symposium by media conquered by the enemy within. It came from the University of Pittsburgh, where Adolf Grunbaum enjoyed the raptures of the indigents of the East Liberty District of Pittsburgh, as well as the support of millionaire Zionists at Carnegie Mellon University, like Todd Kaufman and his starlets Magna Wen, both of whom were given Harlem Renaissance passes for getting secret tapes for Yoko Ono of the various childhood dresses that the Black Panthers tried on, of the psychic condition of a white liberal who had been tortured by the Ku Klux Klan. The whole NAACP come a running to try on them childhood costumes. The whole NAACP come a running like IDF warriors to snarl at someone who considered Reagan a demagogue. And the Black Panthers slapped 5 at their barbecue alliance with Hitler Reagan, staging a one night stand that they still occupy the lunchrooms over by justifying two virgins pussy bowl, a gunboat crusade by Obama over Maduro Goto, the spirit of 1996. It got ugly in 1996 because Maduro's virginity was a Helen of Troy squabble clogged to the AIDS attack, and the Beatles were having fun in the name of the Volkswagen guy who named their band. So if you look at the way they use name signifiers, a man named Donald, a white man named Donald with a Normo, broke my sister's ribs. Donald, because he broke my sister's ribs, in the eyes of Seattle's political Green Party, is an honorary the African warrior for breaking my sister's white liberal ribs. Ronnie Szynski, and Kasper Owski attacked and tortured me in 1973 when very few people knew that Reagan and Caspar Weinberger were going to be working together in 1980. But this made them good people. They were honorary the sacred the African warriors. Now, Jill Stein is a namesake that's involved in the poisoning of me with a nerve agent by the Wattenmakers, who are Zionist exterminators named to signify the atom bomb, Wattenmaker. But they too are honorary the African warriors in the Kamala Harris index because Jill Stein poisoned the queer ball with a nerve agent and thus deafened him so that he didn't know what was going on, while the Ku Klux Klan kicked him in the head, and he was disallowed by UW Dialectical to name the shade that rescued him that day, because that would turn the tables on the lunch program that Sabs wants to announce as the agency of the Gaza flotilla, who I support. I think there's nothing better in the world than the idea of getting humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. I don't want to get into the dialogue about do they support queers, do they not support queers. It's a stupidity from the Green Party meant to clog up our political processes for Kamala Harris and the honorary the African warriors like Joe Biden, who enjoy such support in the Seattle crowd.